Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for another. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for another. Good morning. I'm sorry about the technical hitch there. I had an echo from the YouTube. We're broadcasting this show live on YouTube as well. Like I was saying, I just want to thank you all for being here today, for joining us for another I Am Cameroon show, which we're doing now every other week. Last week we did talk about the economy. We focused on partnership in banking, and we looked about the diaspora taking advantage of a partnership with the local bank, EcoBank, in Cameroon. And today, we're still focused on the economy, but we're looking at opportunities and alternative sources of energy, particularly solar energy. We're calling this Power Cameroon. The future is solar, and we're going to be listening, exchanging ideas here today with an operator or a provider in Cameroon, as well as learning from a customer that has had some great experience. But let me pause here and introduce myself. My name is Ari Obenson. I'm founder of the I Am Cameroon movement. And the I Am Cameroon movement has for 13 years played a little part in the contribution, the future, or the development of our country. Our vision is to create opportunities for every Cameroonian to take ownership of the development of our country. And we do this through our mission, which is essentially to inspire, educate, and engage Cameroonians to accept and assume responsibility for the future of Cameroon. And like I said, we've been doing this for many, many years. There's several projects that we've done over the years that have made a difference in the lives of people in Cameroon as well as here in the diaspora. But at this time, you may be wondering, how can I be involved in this organization? And so I'm going to quickly turn this to the president of the organization to talk a little bit about how and why you should be involved. President Bambo, thank you for joining us today.
All right, thank you, Ari. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be around the world, and welcome to another show, the Cameroon Show today, where all we do is to inspire, educate, and engage young Cameroonians to take ownership for the future of the country. And all we do here, we do this by bringing in young Cameroonians from all walks of life who are doing incredible work around the country to to do exactly just that, to bring development to their own part of the country. And today we have this young man, Mr. Marco, who, in the midst of all the crises, political, economic, and social, electrical, energy, for instance, he saw an opportunity to bring not only regular electricity to people, but also renewable electricity to people, alternative energy, and to homes and businesses. He's been doing this for quite some time right now. And he's one of those people you see who takes, when people complain, he takes opportunities of things that are around him and does his thing. And so we are looking for people like this to grow this movement, to see opportunities where others see challenges. And so if you're one of those, please come on board, join I Am Cameroon, and let's ride this wave. Let's let's change the narrative. Let's do what we're supposed to do. Let's join the young people and move the country forward. And so if you're one of those who is interested, please join I Am Cameroon. We're going to put in the handles or social handles over there for you guys to join, and then we will work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bambot, for that, inviting people to join the movement. I'd say we're going to be, like you said, we're going to be dropping in the chat box the contacts to our website so that you can explore more about the organization. You can follow us on Facebook as well. We're currently also, like I said earlier, broadcasting this live on YouTube, and that's also something where we would encourage people to like our YouTube page and share it with others so that we can grow this spirit and grow this movement. At this time, I'm thrilled and excited to introduce to you our host for the session today, who is none other than Tabe Masse. So join me in welcoming Tabe Masse all the way from the legendary state of Delaware, and incidentally happens to be her birthday today. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. There is no better place to spend my birthday than to help in moving the needle towards developing Cameroon, taking responsibility for our own nation. No one will do it for us. And so just a quick intro of myself. I am a board member of I Am Cameroon, and it is my honor to welcome all of you to this forum today. And without much ado, I will introduce our panel, the people who are here to educate us and to inspire us about what they're doing in Cameroon and a customer experience. For those of you who are abroad or in the diaspora, you know that customer experience is key to anything, any development that we're doing. So I will be calling upon Mr. Marcel Nguyenyo and Mr. Francis Cam to both introduce themselves, and we will take it from there.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. I'm really happy. Thank you for bringing me here. My name is Marcel Nguyenyo, the founder and CEO of Marco Soleil from Northwest Cameroon. Thank you.
Right. Mr. Francis Cam. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, good. I just did. All right. Again, hello, everybody. Greetings and welcome from whatever part of the world you are joining us. I want to start by thanking the I Am Cameroon movement for giving me the opportunity to be a panelist here and to share my experience insofar as using alternative energies, particularly solar energy, is concerned. I'm not sure what else. I mean, I think I'll just stop at that point, and then we would move on when the discussions actually begin.
Certainly, and you know, as we delve deeper into some questions, then you know some of your experience certainly can come into play. So I will turn now to Mr. Marcel Marco Soleil. That is the name of your company, right?
Yes.
Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes, yes.
Marco Soleil. Okay. Tell us a little bit about the origin story. How did you get this idea? How did you see an opportunity where everyone else sees just sees bad news? The rolling electrical shortages, Sonel, really, anybody who hasn't heard about Sonel but you saw an opportunity, and solar panels, solar energy, renewable energy. Tell us your origin story and what motivated you.
Yeah, so I would like to say my journey begins from, I used to be an electrician, which I repair generators, and I also do electricity and motorbikes repairs, stuff like that. So when solar energy came in, I find it was necessary for me to go into solar energy because I find out, I tried to know more about solar energy, and I discovered that this was part of my field because when dealing with motorbikes and all of those stuff like generator, you have enough knowledge of a DC current. Because solar is all about DC, you convert the DC current to 220 volts. So that was an opportunity for me to jump into solar, and I do everything possible to switch off all my customer from generator to solar energy. And everybody was satisfied because solar energy was cheaper and easy to use.
And reliable in the
And reliable.
tropics. Yeah, and reliable.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. And may I add affordable? Because if you have to compare generators buying gas,
Yes.
and there's been shortages, right, of gasoline in Cameroon every now and then. So compounding on the issue. So yes, great. So another question I have for you about your strategic vision and your growth. We've heard your origin story, but what keeps you motivated? What keeps you looking to grow? And what do you need to grow?
Yes, at this point in time, back then I didn't even talk about electricity because I started this journey back from the village. Back then, I think I've been into it for like 8 years, or 8 to 10 years. Back then, we have no electricity back in the village.
Wow.
But when this solar solution came, and we discovered that everybody can live a normal life, like maybe someone in the city or in the village. Yeah.
Oh
And
my.
I did everything possible. I built these things from scratch. Yeah, I've really put things to work, and I've trained a lot of people. And I think
Wow.
we are moving on.
In the right direction.
Everything is,
So what I
yes,
heard that is intriguing is this: you saw a problem at the village level and started providing renewable
yes,
energy at the village level, but you did not end there. Educating and training,
no,
that is scaling up, training others who will now go out and do what you're doing. So all those of you who have aunties and uncles and grandparents in the village, this is your guide to get electricity to your people. Because sometimes when we think of electricity, we kind of ignore, sometimes the people in the outskirts, in the hinterlands, because they never had Sonel anyhow. So thinking about solving a problem for them is really ignored sometimes. But this is good because you started from mega beginnings and using whatever you needed to use. So production, how are you getting your materials? Is myself okay? Go ahead.
yeah. At this level, I'm able to, yeah. At this level, I think I'm able to. I have my brown, my brown, called Marcos Soler. I have the battery already. I have the panels and the inverters. I have them already.
Okay.
And I'm working on a training center, which I'll be training like villagers also, which they can, like in Cameroon, we have solar plants. When you go to the villages, like solar that the government have helped villages to install like 2 years ago.
Oh.
There's nobody there to do maintenance. They don't have any idea of how these things work. So I'm coming up with a training center, which I will try to invite villagers, everyone, like to be part of this journey.
From different villages, different parts of Cameroon to get
Yes.
trained and go back to the village and be the maintenance person for the entire community. That is powerful. I must commend you. Are there any partnerships that you're looking for or that you already have? And again, we're here to ask what are your needs, so our public, those who are viewing, can see if there's an opportunity in investing in you and scaling it up to also get into other markets that maybe you have not been able to get to. I'm thinking far north, I'm thinking Acquire, I'm thinking other places that Cameroon is big, you see. So what are some of your thoughts about scaling up and potential investors if we could find them in the diaspora?
Yeah, so that will really help us to grow because at this point, we have a lot of problems. When I went to China, I discovered that some of the qualities we have here are not the best due to one of the problems. If you have to import the best quality back here to Cameroon, when you, by the end of the day, you will not end up having anything like a profit or whatever because they have to reduce the quality in order to
get a
sell.
profit margin. Yes.
Yes. So right now, I'm also working on how we can assemble the panels here, even if we are able to bring them here and do some of the job ourselves. The original quality, like the good quality, can be affordable.
The parts, you're thinking about getting the parts and assembling them. Again, production in Cameroon. And also knowing that when you think about production, you need energy.
Yes.
And so, we're going to do a deeper dive into that, once I get to Francis, and then we'll come back, because if you're thinking about a production plant, even if it's an assembling plant of raw materials that you're going to get, your energy that you're already propagating is going to help you and other factories and production initiatives in Cameroon. And so I'll certainly be asking you about your contact information, and we will be, I think we might already have it, and we'll drop it in the chat. But I know there are some questions that we could go to before we jump to Mr. Cam. Array, I am not monitoring the questions, so if you are able to monitor the Q&As for us.
Yes, I'm keeping an eye on that, and I've asked the audience if they have any questions to make sure they do. But I have a follow-up question for myself, because Tebe had asked about in terms of where you source raw materials from, and I think you mentioned China. And you mentioned the quality of the or what may be coming out of China. When you say you get the material out of China, what exactly is that material that you get out of China, and how can we change the trajectory where we don't necessarily have to get that from China and maybe produce in Cameroon?
Okay, if I was able to share my screen, maybe I could have show you guys some of these pictures, because I've been in factories and I found this possible for us to do that here back home. So I think.
But if you have the ability to share your screen, if you want to.
Okay.
I've given you the ability to do that.
It's the green square with the arrow going up.
Sorry.
So whilst you're doing that, maybe we can go on to Francis then, who is
Yes.
of Marcos Soleil. Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead. Francis,
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for being part of this as a customer, right? Because we know, right? We know that the person selling something or making something has only the best things to say. But we want to hear from customers as well. Tell us a little bit about your experience, customer experience, right, of Marcos Soleil.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, Tebe, for the question. So I have had solar panels on my roof right where I'm sitting. I had solar panels on my roof here since 2012. And then I've always wondered, how do I light up my little space in Cameroon? How do I go about just making life better in terms of power supply and so on and so forth? I was actually sourcing a solar system here to ship to Cameroon. And then I happened to be talking to one of the guys, my electrician, who on whom I was counting to do the installation.
Mhm.
So he sent me a flyer,
Mm.
and I looked at the flyer. The different levels of equipment, different pricing, how people would typically do.
Mhm.
So the person who put out that flyer was Marcel. We call him Marco. Was
Mhm.
Marcel who put out that flyer. So
Mhm.
I contemplated for a while. Then I
Mhm.
called him.
Mhm.
I said, okay, this system, I said, this is what I'm looking to do. I want to light this up. I want to be able to do this and that and that and so on and so forth. And all of these questions was based on my experience that I had when I attempted to put solar panels on my roof here in the United States.
Mhm.
So we went back and forth. I sent him the system that I had seen here that I was planning to purchase and ship to Cameroon. I said, okay, can you match this system? Obeisi told me upfront that I can get you something way better and cheaper. I said, okay. I mean, I still didn't believe him until I took a trip to Cameroon. And then by this time, unfortunately, I was doing this research 2021, entering into 2022. Around 2022, my mom passed. So the thing became an emergency. I needed to light up places for funerals and so on and so forth. So I took a trip to Cameroon and I visited him in Yaoundé, saw what he had. Then just when I entered his shop, he showed me this. I see Marco is trying to do to share his screen. If there was a way for me to compare, because not only do I have solar panels on my roof, there is something that is being sold here that some of you have driven around, you've probably seen some funny kind of panels. Well, not street lighting or in people's.
Yes,
I
yes.
visited Marco's shop. The brightness of what I saw and the pricing compared to what I had here. I have them here in my backyard, the outdoor ones. The pricing, I said, there is no way I'm going to buy them from here. Okay. So the logistics of moving material was part of the problem. I happened to put that in place. I bought certain things from him. We went to our compound in Bamenda, installed them, and I mean it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. I mean it's like here. The brightness of the solar lights we have in Cameroon, I'll compare them to, like, if you've been to a soccer field, that's how bright those ones in Cameroon are. I mean, they are very, very bright. And then they are very, well, insofar as I'm concerned, affordable compared to, because here, I purchased the one I have in my backyard and in my wife's business. I bought what was being advertised here as the best, but the lighting, absolute nonsense. I mean, the brightness is just not up to par. And I was confused. I said, so is there something I'm doing wrong? I even bought some more. Did something go bad? I even returned some. They replaced it. I figured out that it was just the way that those ones were made. And compared with what we have in Cameroon, I mean, what I saw, if I visited him, it was Marco's shop in, what was that place? Is it Mimboman in Yaoundé?
Mimboman.
Yes. Yes, it was. I actually stayed. I came in around dusk, stayed till places actually got dark, so I can assess the brightness of the panels. And it has different ones, different levels, different pricing. I mean, there is just no comparison. All right, so that started buying me in, and then of course I eventually bought some. I mean, if there was a way for me to bring in a video, my compound in Bamenda and the one in the village are lit 24/7.
Wow.
24/7, and they've been that way since Marco. When did we install the first ones?
I think it has been over 2 years today. And all of our lights have close to 5 years warranty.
Yes.
Even where Marco is today, in terms of trying to train other people to come, because he was the only one, and I'm a very difficult customer. I'm a very, if you as the owner, you are not on the spot, then my job is not being done. So I had him. I mean, I was asking him, so now that you are here, who is in your shop? Who is the,
Yes.
so I'm glad he's actually taking in some of the discussions we had, and he's putting in place a team that will not only help
Yes.
him, but go out there and, you know,
Yes.
yeah. So
Yes. And you know, and I think that is a mindset change that I am so pleased to see, because even in the various languages in Cameroon, Bag will say Mawanti, Bakri will say Bambiti. Listen, that it's only me who would have this thing and no one else would have it. But that mindset has changed to say, I will start this thing and I will educate and train people. Let them go and do their own business, you know, being maintenance guys, people who can install these things and repair them, maintain them in all the four corners of Cameroon. There was, you know, a customer was rightfully commented that solar energy, the installation part, the procurement and installation is expensive. Just like you, Mr. Gam, if you had sent it from the United States, of course, it would have been mind-boggling expensive, right?
yes,
But if we have somebody who has figured out ways to procure raw materials, ways to make some raw materials, you know, so not knowing where he is in his journey of doing the entire process from scratch to finish, you know, it's a journey. So some of the materials might still have to come from China while he is procuring some. That is how the prices start getting better. But I want to pivot a little bit, thinking about the investment perspective on solar energy. As an investor, then I will go to then what about the small business owner, the mommy who grinds kum kum in the market, the mommy who grinds, you know, corn chaff, no, not corn chaff, corn for fufu corn. You know, those, how do we get the small business owner one or two panels that keeps their business going, because they all run either on Sonel or generators? You know, that initial investment, are there any thoughts of, yes, right now it's compounds in the village and, you know, maybe people in the diaspora helping to sponsor some of their family members and even others in Cameroon. But what about that mammy in the market who doesn't have anyone to sponsor to help them? Can they get something affordable, small enough to run? I see you're sharing so go ahead and answer. You know, I'm seeing your pictures already on screen, Mr. Marcel.
Yes, it's possible. I think it's possible because solar has everything. Right now, we can do working with solar. We can do almost everything with solar energy. It is possible. Yeah,
Well,
and we are working more and more to make it better and better, like in terms of price and all of that. So,
Marco, share the brick factory if you have that video. What I'm seeing here, it looks like mine. Is this the one in the?
Yes.
Okay, I just saw.
Okay. Yes. All right. I see you getting ready to share a video.
Yes. This is the factory. So, in order for us to be getting these things at the finishing level, it costs us more money. I can say it's more expensive because the packaging, the framing will take a lot of space. Because when shipping these things to Cameroon, you have to calculate the space, and the weight doesn't really matter. But if they can end at this level that we are seeing here, we can do the rest of the job in Cameroon. It will be cheaper. The space that maybe one panel can take, we can put about 7 of them. And when we have to work here, we'll see that.
Okay, I see the vision. Yes.
and make it affordable. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been in this factory. I've been in many factories in China now. I see it possible for us to do it here. That is why my training center will also help me to be able to have serious workers that we can work together and make this happen.
Wow. This really is impressive. You know, you've certainly thought about some ways of streamlining, of making it better for your transportation to begin with, to transport it a little bit, more per shipment, but then finishing the work in Cameroon, which is already hands and shoulders above the rest.
I'm
I-
sorry if I may chime in relation to
Yes.
cost. There are different grades of it. It depends on what you want. I don't know, Marco, that flyer was several years ago, but I can't remember what the costing was. But depending on what you want, at the time, you could get something. Marco, what was the cheap? If you remember the figures on that your flyer, it was way back in maybe 2021.
Yes. Back then, the cheapest system that I had, which can carry a TV, maybe your musical set, the lighting, and other small stuff in
Maybe
the house,
fridge.
was about, was about 230,000.
Okay.
230,000 to
Yes,
run your basic household fridge,
yeah,
TV, and
yes.
lighting for the house so people are not cooking in the dark. Okay.
So about
Wow.
$400 for those here in
Yes.
the US, 360 euros.
Yes. But think about your generator, the cost of your generator, and then the constant filling it with gas or gasoline. It makes sense. It just makes sense for that initial investment, and then certainly now some of the local people have been trained for maintenance. So, you don't need to call for parts yourself from China and try to figure it out yourself. If Marco is training people, then maybe that is where an investor might want to invest in the training, in duplicating training centers and train the trainers, right? Because you can train people, but what about train the trainer? The people who are now gonna train in those various training centers. I think that's where the thoughts should be heading. I see, Ari, you're off mute. Did you have a comment before I go on to the next question?
No, not really. I think it was a lot more to, and I think Francis addressed the question of cost, because I know Jacqueline Dio had a question about reducing the cost, but I think Francis did answer that.
Okay. I know there is another pressing issue in Cameroon, and that is the issue of water. Is there any thought about using solar panels to pump, to, dig wells, do pumps for water so people can, for any developing country, energy and water are key. Without those two, even for your hospitals, your other businesses that need water, how can we think about, or are there any thoughts yet?
Yes, let me actually
Yes and
address
yes. Okay.
Marco chimes in. I mean, he is going to chime in. So, yes, that's the simple answer. That's the simple direct answer. Yes, there are solar pumps. In that same house that he showed, that same system that he showed, my compound in Bamenda, I'm saying mine, our family compound, because that's where the house is built. We have a borehole that is being solar powered, and we supply. I mean, people come to carry water because I provided taps, like running taps, free to the public, and people come from, in terms of the US distances, 20-25 miles away to come and fetch water at our property. So we have a well that is solar powered. In my house in the village, it's being totally run by solar system, from
Mhm.
pump to electricity. I
Mm.
offered, you mentioned hospital, the local hospital in my village.
Mm.
I think Marco, I don't know if you have those, because he's the one doing them. I don't know if you have those videos. The local hospital in my village, they are
Mhm.
just about finishing. Well, we already finished the installation of the
Mhm.
solar powered water system. But
Mhm.
now they're just about finishing or completing the tower for the
Wow.
system to be complete. So yes, I mean that is a direct, as they how do we say it? Is that the other side of the coin? Once
Yes.
you have that the solar system, now you start stretching to see what else you can use
Yes.
that system to help you do.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so, of course, not to talk of the possibility of using it to cook and so on and so
Yes.
forth. It is, I mean, my entire structure in the village is
Yes.
the solar run. People come from, I'll say the entire village to come and charge their phones in my property,
Oh,
which that's what I don't like.
oh my gosh.
Yes, but
So, the possibilities are endless. We've talked
anyway,
about Mami Granot or Mami Kumkum with maybe
yes,
one little s- thing to grind her machine grinder, all the
mhm,
way to hospital, all the way
yes,
to powering a hospital and assuring water. This is what I Am Cameroon is for the citizens to take responsibility for the development of the country. For the longest time, right, we have been waiting for someone to come. And I go turn for pigeon now. Me Oyibo come, can't do it for we. But Oyibo know the come, especially now we know, so you know the come. So it's a long history of waiting for someone else to come. So I Am Cameroon is saying the time to wait is done. Even waiting for the government. Yes, you want partnerships with the government. You want the government to allow you, but you're not waiting for the government to come and do. And I think this is a testament, Marco and Mr. Francis as a customer who has not only done for his household, but is also supporting his entire village, taking responsibility of that part of the country with just one installation. It's not over and over, one installation, and the
yes.
population being impacted.
Probably not to cut you short, what Marco is projecting there, and he can shed more light on that. Marco, is that the Ministry of Public Works, Public Service? One of the ministries in Yaoundé now run on solar power,
Yes,
done by
yes,
Marco Soler.
yes,
Wow.
yes. The Ministry of Public Service. At this point in time, even a petrol station, I have a couple of petrol stations that are running on solar. So solar solution should be the best for everyone right now.
Yes. So, I just want to take us down memory lane, just as a step behind. Remember in the days when only a few people had the rotary telephone, right?
Yes.
Only the big people could have that telephone. And then in Cameroon, there were no lines, there was no possibility. And then cell phones came.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Mami Granot is able to sell with a mobile phone and mobile money. This is the trajectory of where we are. It starts with individuals like Marcel. It starts with individuals. That is what we're saying, that we can bemoan what is happening to Cameroon and throw our hands up, or we can look at Marcel and say, well done, because you're doing something. You found an opportunity. And then the government is coming alongside, ordering and giving you business to also power a ministry. Because sun is plenty, right? The sun is plenty, but we don't have to buy the sun. We're in the tropics. And so this is the mind shift. This is the mind change. And it is just fantastic that we're here and we've been able to talk from the small to the big, large scales and smalls. And so now that we have the possibility of energy and water, then production can truly start in Cameroon. Because people have been bemoaning the fact of, why are we not producing? How can we produce when there is no power? In the middle of a production, you lose power. everything goes bad. So now that we have hope for energy and we have hope for water, everything else can fall into place. And so I am excited to be with you today, Marcel and Mr. Francis Camp, because this has changed the conversation. For anyone, all the naysayers who think, well, this is a lost cause, this has changed the conversation of what is possible in Cameroon. Individuals taking responsibility, not waiting for anyone to come and save us. We're taking responsibility. And so I will see to, the other board members who are here who might have a word or two to say before we go to our trivia. We usually leave the last 15 minutes for trivia to learn more about what makes our panel tick, because sometimes it is the intangible that gives us an insight into a mindset. So go ahead, Mr. I see Sally is on, Array, Bambot, any comments?
Yeah. Let me just start by saying that based on research, solar energy is going to increase significantly. It's a $6.9 billion dollar opportunity in Cameroon, and I said billion in dollars based on the research that I was looking at. So there's enormous growth for expansion. The sun really is an unlimited resource, and we with Cameroon having the equator close to the equator, where all sunlight is always going to be in abundance, so there is room for expansion. Secondly, there is not enough government funding or tax revenue that can allow for electrification, especially rural electrification. So the biggest opportunity that exists in Cameroon is going to be what they used to call rural electrification at the time, which was using hydroelectricity. But now there is possibilities to have solar energy just the same way that people buy airtime, right? Same way that people buy airtime for their phones. You could actually have local distributors that is distributing solar power in a village, and you can go just buy it with your airtime credit and have access to electricity if you don't have the ability to install all the panels. And there's some countries that are actually doing that. There's Akon, the famous Senegalese musician, that is doing in, I think, 8 West African countries, has a foundation that is lighting up, providing electricity in villages, and we see the opportunities that come with it. So this is one conversation that we're having with Marco Soler, and I hope that it doesn't end at this conversation, that the people who listen to this, we can be able to mobilize the diaspora in a way that we think about leveraging an existing and proven business. Proven because we have a satisfied customer here bearing testimony to the work that he has done. How can we mobilize ourselves to be able to grow this opportunity, to look at a business and say, can we grow this in such a way that we create a lot more opportunities for people? And it can address a lot of things. We talk about, agriculture and the need to irrigate farms. You could actually leverage solar to make sure that water is distributed on farmlands. You could also do the same with garbage heaps that we're seeing across the country. All of those things can be addressed if you have power,
You have
a
power.
sustained source of power.
Yeah.
But also think about pollution and how much the environment is being destroyed by the number of generators that we're using and the fuel
As well as noise pollution.
yeah,
Not
nice.
just that, noise pollution
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. And so there's a great alternative to this. So I wanted to just step in and ask Marco, if you were to dream about the future of Marco Soler and its place in Cameroon, what would that future look like?
Well, I think if I can have support and other and more people to come into my vision, it will help a lot. It will help a lot of Cameroonians. It will help in the entire Cameroon. So we have a lot of challenges and all the like, but we are pushing. So we need people.
Marco, you mentioned challenges. What are those challenges you mentioned?
You know, challenges when it comes to finance, because to get these things from China, go to tax and all the rest, it's not really easy. It's not easy. To be honest, it's not easy, but it's only determination that keep me going all this while. But I think the future will be bright if more people can come in to support and to
provide some
part of the
funding.
business. Yeah, not only support, part of the business.
Part of the business. Okay. You've all heard it. You've all heard it. Looking for partners who can also bring in some capital to expand. The expansion is in the billions, So before I go on to the trivia that we've planned for you, do Nigella or Sally, any comments? On my panel. All right, certainly not. So I'll go on to a trivia. Marcel, what is your favorite Cameroonian musical artist?
I think my best artist is Tizi Pancha. Something.
Aha. Okay. All right. All right. So now we know, because we want to get into the mindset, the mind of a person. And so we ask this trivia. So, okay, your traditional cuisine, your country chop, as we call it. What is your favorite?
My favorite fufu and kati kati, as we call it.
Fufu and kati kati. All right then. Okay. And if you were to go to this is a preference, and it is for entertainment, for tourism. And so is it Le Domaine de Pepenon or Seme Beach Resort? If you were to, you are a hard worker, right? So, but for relaxation and to unwind, which one would you go to?
I think Seme Beach would be the best for me because I've been there.
All right. A man of the soil, being true to his roots. Okay. All right. And Mr. Francis, although you're here in the diaspora, I'm going to ask you the same questions. So, your favorite musician and your favorite country chop. I'm not going to go to Seme Beach or the other one, but at least those two. Give me your answer.
Was it directed to me?
Yes, Mr. Francis, yes, to you. Your favorite artist and your favorite food, Cameroonian food.
Favorite artist, Edouard Lawton.
Okay. Okay. Generational. All right then. What about food?
I don't want to disappoint some people because mine is not my country chop. My best food is kwakoko and banga soup.
All right then. All right, my in-law. Okay. All right, my in-law. All right. On my husband's side. Great.
Yeah.
Good. That is fantastic. No, hey, that is why I said we are Cameroonians at the end of the day. And I am Cameroon. We do not split ourselves into sections or sectarianism. We are here for Cameroon as Cameroon. So I am Cameroon is taking ownership and taking the narrative of Cameroon back to say, this is our country, the land of our birth. So we are Cameroonians and we're going to take responsibility, even if it's for our own little part, starting with our village, as Mr. Francis did, and then Bamenda, and then the hospital. But Mr. Marcel is everywhere, from Yaoundé all the way to the village. So Thank you so much for enlightening us. Thank you, Francis, for giving us your testimonial. So for those who want to do business with Marcel, either as customers or as partners, you can certainly follow our pages on Facebook, and or our website, which we will drop in the chat, and you will have more information about Marcel and his company. Marcel, you'll send us a flyer so we can put up there as well, and hopefully promote you in a way that Cameroonians can see that there is opportunity. There is opportunity to help. You see, and it was Steve Jobs or whoever who said that if you can fix a problem, you don't go into something thinking you want to make money. You go into something thinking, I want to fix a problem. And then the resources and income follows. And I think that is where you started, Marcel. You wanted to meet the challenges, to solve the problem at the village level for your relatives. And so you started there. And that is powerful. That is the spirit of things. So I will hand it over to our president or our founder to close us. It is 11:54. We like to keep our meetings, at an hour. We respect people's time, and we want to make sure that we do not.
Maybe in the future, you guys should do a segment about time management for Cameroonians, particularly, and Africans in general.
Certainly. We're starting this by example, right? That we're able to go through a panel conversation and cover all topics and still end on time.
Yeah, you already see me in Cameroonian events because when they say 8 o'clock, I'm there at 8 o'clock, and then people start coming at 11. As I get paid by the hour. All right. So if I'm here at 8 o'clock, 3 hours, I've already lost so much money. There's no, I know expect me to donate to you. It's not going to happen.
Thank you for putting the plug. We'll take that into consideration. Ari, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Tabe, for moderating this. Marcel, thank you for taking up time from your busy schedule to be here. Francis, deeply appreciate your thoughts, your comments, and reassuring us that working with people back in Cameroon could actually be a pleasant experience. Our hope, our aspiration from this conversation is that we inspire more people to step up and get involved in one way or the other. We hope to create opportunities for people, especially in the diaspora, to connect with people in Cameroon that are doing incredible work despite the challenges that they face. And we all, especially those of us who live here, we invest our money through our 401k and other investments in stocks in businesses that we have no idea who runs them, how they are run. And here's an opportunity for us to not only participate in something, but to actually have an impact. So, Marcel, we will continue to work on ways in which we could create investment opportunities for people in your business to see that the business grows. And then we'll come back and tell this story. The future of Cameroon lies in our hands, in the hands of everyone. The essence of the movement, I Am Cameroon, essentially says that I may not be the cause of all the challenges that we face, but I accept responsibility to be part of the solution. And I may not have all the answers, but the little experience, the little resources, the little talent that I've acquired over the years, I can bring that to bear in my country. I can give back to my country in one way or the other, because no one else will do it but each one of us. Each one of us is the pillar of the country, and that's the opportunity. That's why we say, I am Cameroon. That's why you are Cameroon. That's why we all are Cameroon. So thank you very much for being here. This will continue. This conversation will continue. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will be seeing you again 2 weeks from now with another deep conversation about the future of our country. And I think we're moving in the direction of agriculture in our next conversation.
Yes.
Have a wonderful week.
And so before we end, we did talk about banking. So secure your ability to have a good banking partner in Cameroon. And then, you do have Marcel. So that way you're not using shady ways of sending money back to Cameroon, especially if you're going to use, we learned large sums of money that need a tracking. So EcoBank is for you for that. And Marcel, we cannot thank you enough. This has been incredible, and we will continue to support you. And for all of our viewers, you are you are the wind beneath our sails. Without you, we will not have this opportunity to highlight and to introduce young Cameroonians doing just extensive work in Cameroon. So thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Did you end up putting Marco's contacts for
Yes, I put Marco's contact in the group
and we
chat.
would also drop it in our website and our Facebook page. So that way those who might not be able to get back to this chat might still go follow us online. I am Cameroon .org.
Yes.
Yes.
.org. And they will be able to connect with Marco from there.
Wonderful. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
All
Folks.
right.
All right, everybody. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Happy Saturday. Bye.